Okay, guys, welcome back. Welcome to round 3 of our Hot Wings Challenge. I have Nao Yoneda again, once again, who has joined us.
I've recovered.
You
I'm
recovered?
ready to go
No,
again.
she had to go to the bathroom and wipe down and replenish and recharge. And we also have a Sunny Elangandala. Yeah, say that 3 times backwards. Otherwise known as Akshay Elangandala, who came to us from Texas. Where he trained, and he's currently our medical education fellow in his 2nd year. So, Sunny, why don't you take a few moments to talk about research and scholarly activity at our program. And meanwhile, we're going to get another set of, wings that are somewhat medium, I hope. Medium.
I heard the bomb was the way to go.
Thank you. Can you handle your spice?
Much
like Dr. Parikh.
He's brown.
A brown man.
If we can't do this, then we ain't brown.
Can't
right?
nobody do it. If we can't do it, can't nobody do it.
Now you just have to master eating and talking.
Eating and talking
Wings
might be
are...
But we do it in India.
Yes, we do. Oh, trust me, Indians eat and talk all the time. I have to constantly remind my father of that all the time. Okay, anyway,
On the right.
I digress.
Anyway, so there's a lot of support for research here. You can see some of our residents who have presented in the past. Actually, 2 of them. So on the top left there, you have Dr. Dave Simon, and bottom left, you got Nate Zerider, who both did research presentations at various conferences as residents, and later on matched to become fellows within our program. So Dave Simon is now our simulation fellow, and Nate Zerider is our ultrasound fellow. And then you have in the bottom right there, Emily Au and Mike Chari presenting a little bit about something that I think we are uniquely poised to do research on here, which is language, the varieties of languages used in the emergency department, and interpretation services. As you guys have maybe mentioned before, we are housed in Flushing, New York, which is one of the most diverse zip codes in the entire country. I've heard in the world, I don't know if that can be statistically fact-checked, but we should have someone, maybe Kevin can double time as a fact-checker. But we can do a ton of research on diverse patient populations and language interpretation, and there's definitely a lot of support out there. There's many mentors who are interested in this kind of stuff, and there's a lot of different parameters that we can study in regards to that.
That's excellent.
Your diaphragm is
I
saying...
had to take a moment because I just gave the speech about brown people can handle spice, and I'm
As
hiccuping.
you said it,
Only
yeah.
in round 3, and we have 4 more rounds to go. But I'll get there. Don't worry. I just gotta take it slow. So
yeah, I like that one.
Do residents have like funding or any stipends to go and present their research and scholarly activity?
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to the logistic support and the moral support we have here for research, residents doing research, we also have financial support. So we do fund our residents to go to various conferences in specific PGY years. So our PGY 1s tend to go to New York ASAP. We provide $1,000 for that. Our PGY 2s tend to go to SAEM, and again, another $1,000 for that. And then our PGY 3s go to ASEP, and we provide $1,500 for that. There's also an EMA conference, which is, as you all know, we're kind of related to Envision, and they hold research conferences as well, and those are fully funded if our residents present at those.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Atlantic City, which, you know, it's Atlantic City, but it's still fun nonetheless.
Honestly, I'd be happy to travel anywhere in post-COVID times.
That is true. Let's go anywhere for a field trip.
And it really does behoove you to do research while you're here, because if you do a research project and it gets accepted for presentation at one of these conferences or any other conference that you submit it to, the residency will fund you up to $1,000 to go and present. So really, there are no financial handcuffs for you to be able to go and present one of these projects, which I think is fantastic.
Right.
And there's also an option for an international elective, and we will fund up to $2,000 to try and help people facilitate that.
That's great. So it sounds like there's a lot of mentorship, a lot of support in terms of faculty, but also financially as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's excellent. You know, I do want to mention this for some of the applicants or some of the students who might be watching and be like, oh my God, I absolutely hate research and I have to do research. Just remember this. research and scholarly activity is a requirement by ACGME, but research doesn't necessarily have to be what you envision research to be. It can be scholarly activity in the forms of writing blog posts or writing case reports or doing, writing test questions or writing chapters for books. We've been really creative here at NYPQ, and we essentially do give credit to residents who do a wide variety of different activities. So if research is not your thing, it's okay. You will get through it. What's another reason to do research and go away to these conferences?
Well, a huge part of these conferences in emergency medicine is this whole work hard, play hard mentality. So these are a lot of our residents going out, networking with other residents from other programs, alumni from our program, and just having a good time. They do still get some education in there, but
are you sure?
As you can see with some of our priors, they're just wearing tank tops and swim trunks in the hotel building of the
that was
conference.
Either Florida or Las Vegas. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was definitely a beach environment. I remember that in the bottom left was I believe Vegas, and somehow we ended up with neon lights that spelled NYPQ. That was definitely a historic moment for our residency. I think another great reason to travel is, at least for me, who's been at this program for many years, and some of our residents and faculty, is we get to just meet up with, our family that essentially has moved on, our alumni essentially. This picture is great because it really highlights people from the beginning of our residency, all the way from class of 2007, Jonathan Siegel's in there, all the way through some of our current residents. So that's, yet another reason to do research and present your scholarly activity. Thank you for sharing all of that, Sunny. I wanted to switch to residency tracks. Neo, can you tell us what are residency tracks and how is that integrated into our residency?
The best way I like to describe residency tracks are kind of like a specialty in emergency medicine, kind of like an after-school activity special kind of thing where you can powwow with people who are interested in similar topics. So the various tracks include administration, pediatric EM, ultrasound, critical care, simulation, academics, and our two newest ones are global health and orthopedic sports medicine. They're all led by various core faculty, and usually what the residency tracks do to have their powwows would be probably every 4 or 6 weeks or every other month they'll meet up, and some of them will do like a fun social activity where you get some food, get some drinks, and you can have a dialogue about your interests.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a nice opportunity also for residents to get some ideas about research potentially, or
Right.
just get some advice for the future, and get a little bit of a specialty experience.
I concur wholeheartedly. I would add that this is a great way to augment your CV if you are in fact on a fellowship track. If you are, for example, going into critical care, or you want to do a simulation fellowship, et cetera, you might participate in that track, do some research projects throughout your training, and it's kind of a great way to gain additional mentorship and get your foot in the door when it comes time for fellowships. I might also add that your track work is completely voluntary. It is extracurricular, so it is really what you make of it. It is nothing that is forced upon you. It is just, it's there and it's available for you if your heart so desires. Neo, can you talk to us a little bit about how residents are evaluated here?
Yeah, so evaluations, very simply put, are from all the degrees. So 360-degree evaluations that encompasses things like nursing evaluations, patient evaluations, peer evaluations where you can evaluate each other. And I think one of the neat things that we do here is that after every single shift that you work, your attending will fill out an end of shift evaluation, and that's a nice opportunity to figure out how you're going to grow and continue to evolve, and also get praised for the amazing things you did on that shift.
That's excellent. So basically, they get a lot of feedback.
There is no paucity of feedback, I will say that. There's a lot of it, but I think it helps, I think that you need this to grow.
Sorry, I'm trying to chew before I talk because I don't want to be one
It's
of
hard
those.
to time it, right? It's
I don't want
not
to be one of
easy.
those talkers and eaters and chewers like my dad. But yes, and look, there's a shift evaluation after every single shift you do. So
Right.
there is constant feedback. You'll always know how you're doing in the residency. You can never say, oh, I didn't know how I was doing, because you're constantly given that feedback. And I think one of the most important things here also is you additionally, as a resident, have ample opportunity to give feedback about your attendings. So there are anonymous attending evals, and we do a lot of stuff with that information. So Neo, let's talk about procedures now. Wait, where did Sunny go?
Sunny's gone.
Sunny's gone?
Sunny's gone.
What happened?
He had
Did
to
you-
work a shift.
You had to work a shift?
We're
Or,
gonna CGI
or did
that.
were you just like poof and he's good and he disappeared?
I
You are wearing all black. Where's your pointy hat?
I think that he had to go work a shift.
Okay.
I can't attest to how he disappeared.
Okay. All right.
CGI.
All right. Well, tell me about procedures here. Do our residents adequately get trained in procedural competencies when they graduate? Are they ready to conquer the world and do all the procedures that EM doctors need to do?
There's definitely a plethora of procedural opportunities
Ooh,
here.
I like that word, plethora.
Thank you. I know some words. And we really advocate for our residents to have protected time on shift to tackle a procedure if that's what the situation calls for. And I think our residents really feel pretty adept at procedures when they graduate, so you can really go work anywhere in any type of hospital and you feel confident doing all of these procedures, including exotic ones.
Right.
And since our residents log their procedures, the record to beat is 2,412 procedures. So it's a lofty goal,
That's
but
a
it's not
lot of
unattainable.
procedures.
It's not unattainable. Yeah.
That's a lot of procedures. And I think what's important to note is that the procedures that you don't see on a daily basis, like cricothyroidotomies and thoracotomies, etc., you'll still get plenty of training in the simulation lab.
Yeah. Muscle memory.
So basically, you will get your hands dirty and you will be procedurally competent. Let's move on to some of the alumni and what have some of their accomplishments been? When you graduate from here, what have residents been able to accomplish moving forward?
Done in the past.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I said before, I'm really proud of our graduates, and there's definitely a wide medley of achievements that they've gone on to accomplish. A lot of them do decide to go into fellowships, so some of the more common fellowships that are considered: ultrasound, international, administrative, simulation, toxicology, education. But some graduates have also gone on to do like hyperbarics, geriatrics, EMS, wilderness medicine. So they've done a lot of really cool things.
So pretty much everything.
I feel like they're prepared and they're eager to go and get their feet wet.
I remember once Alexis Lenz, I think she was class of 2016, she did a ultrasound wilderness elective.
Yep.
I mean, fellowship. And I don't think it's necessarily ultrasound in the wilderness, but it's like some combination of the two. So you can be very unique with, or very creative with ultrasound, with electives these days. With fellowships these days.
Agreed.
And who's Craig Spencer?
Craig was actually a senior.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful human. Did you want to shout him out? Give him a shout out?
If I'm correct, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Craig Spencer a graduate of our program, and then he went on to do the International Global Health Fellowship at St. Luke's Roosevelt, and then at some point in 2015 or 2016, he brought Ebola back to New York. Is that Craig Spencer?
So that is what he was initially known for, but I will say that Craig, we are super proud of you for going out there and being in the media and trying to advocate for our patients and advocate for us. You're the man. And he's probably our most famous graduate.
He's definitely
I
our
don't want to
most
make this
famous.
corny, but yeah, we have to mention Craig. And he was actually chief resident when I was a student here.
He is an amazing
very
person,
inspirational.
human being, resident. I've heard nothing but great things about him, and he has gone on to do amazing things. I see him on CNN all the time talking about infectious disease. So amazing things are happening here. Our graduates do bring, exotic diseases back to the United States. But
even if you're not like a high profile like graduate, I think if you just want to go out there, go into the community, work at a single coverage place, and just rock out, you can do that too.
Right. That's excellent. I have never had a resident not be able to get the fellowship of their desire after graduating.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think anyone's ever devastated.
Some years half of our residents go into fellowship. Sometimes more than half. Sometimes there's certain years. I remember one year everybody was just like, I'm going to Texas to make money, and there's those years
Quite
as well.
a few, yeah.
So the world is your oyster, and I think whatever your heart desires, you're able to obtain or achieve after training here.
We support you.
How many of our staff here have trained at NYPQ?
So let me crunch the numbers real fast for you.
Nobody prepped you on this, huh?
Nobody prepped me for this. 14 out of our 40 attendings or faculty members
You're a mathematical
are
genius.
NYPQ trained, including myself. So that's about a little bit more than a third.
Yeah.
And I think it's a testament to the quality of the education here. And like you were saying earlier, we love the patients. We love this community. It's hard you get attached. And I think it's because it's a really wonderful place.
I concur. I remember when I came in 2012 and saw that, I was like, something's going on here because everybody wants to stay when they graduate. And many people do stay. So that's excellent. And where are our alumni these days? Are they local? Are they...
I feel like the alumni are relatively scattered, so coast to coast, U.S. up and down, and even internationally. We have some people who are in Israel, Philippines, Singapore, to name a few places.
That's excellent. So basically, the world is truly your oyster when you graduate, and you can go on and do whatever your heart desires, and wherever your path takes you, you're able to go because you've been trained well.
Well said.
Very nice. Okay, well, I thank you for coming again and participating in round 3.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to move on to round 4 now.
I'm going to go eat some wings on the side.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for having me.